Okay, so I've got 5 kids and I need to fill 5 days in Kansas City doing the most cool stuff for the least amount of money. I'm on a mission. Okay, we're gonna kick things off with a special treat, a little splurge, kosher Krispy Kreme.
Donuts!
Donuts!
Good for some kosher Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, you can consider.
Because we arrived after 2 o'clock, the Deanna Rose Children's Farmstead in Overland Park was free admission. You do? I've never really been to a place like this. There was plenty of information about local industry and agriculture. There were animals to pet, and if you wanted to pay a little extra, you could feed them. Go, go, faster, 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 Nava. Nava, faster, faster, faster. This park kind of follows a circular path, and you can break off to go into different historical structures and play with different farm implements or see different animals. Ozzy, the original RV. It doesn't?
Look. Is it like, oh, he got, look, he did.
My kids are not total strangers to a farm, so if you think that this is only for city kids, you would be wrong. There's definitely something for everybody to enjoy here, and my kids got a huge kick out of all of the variety of different animals. Overall, this was just such a peaceful place to pass the afternoon. They make their money by offering lots of extras, but you can get so much out of this farmstead just by walking around enjoying the free parts. So that brings us to the end of day 1, and minus the Krispy Kreme costs, we didn't spend anything. We started off day 2 at the Shoal Creek Living History Museum. I was under the impression that there were going to be full-time living history interpreters there, like a blacksmith at the forge or a sheriff in the jailhouse or whatever. But we showed up and we were the only people there. We walked around a little bit, which was very nice, but overall we called it a wash. Next up was a stop the kids were so excited about, Science City, which is a science museum / children's museum. Our home children's museum in Tyler, Texas is a member of the ASTC, the Association of Science and Technology Centers, and they share reciprocal benefits with many science museums and children's museums all around the country. We hold a family membership at our home museum, and when we find ourselves in another city, I just check the reciprocity list and see what's available in the area. And I show up at that museum and show my home museum card, and we are good to go, in for free. We have saved so many hundreds of dollars this way. I've got to calculate that sometime. Okay, now hold on, just Ozzy. Ozzy, you cannot move your head. You can only move your eyeballs. Nope, not your head.
I'm upside down.
You feel like you're upside down? All right.
I'm 22.
Okay.
The wall is made of liquid.
We had such a good time at this children's museum, and although we spent several hours, we definitely could have spent way longer. I think there were things that we just skimmed through because we ended up running short on time in the end. There were lots of elements that were specific to Kansas City, specific to the railway industry, because this whole science museum was set up inside of the old Union Station building, which in itself was just so cool. Okay, we gotta go. Go, 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 go. Shy, keep going, keep going. Keep going, keep going. If we had had more time, I would have loved to just ramble around Union Station and explore it. It was so beautiful. But day 2 was coming to an end. Day 3, we cheated just a little bit and drove across the border to Topeka to visit the Brown v. Board of Education National Historic Site. While we were in the neighborhood, we had to stop at the Combat Air Museum, and here's why. I have a kid who is goo-goo gaga over all kinds of defense technology. This was like a kid in Candyland. We were super lucky to be the only ones in the museum on the day that we showed up, and the kids were offered to fly the simulator with a great instructor who had been a pilot both for the military and commercially. This was not a place that I necessarily would have chosen to stop if not for my older boys who are just totally into this kind of a thing. But everybody got something out of it. Everybody enjoyed a piece of it. That transport helicopter is the most impressive. The little kids had really had enough of military planes after about an hour and a half. So as we were leaving, we passed the Museum of the Kansas National Guard, and I just sent the 3 older boys in by themselves to take a look around. They loved it, and they wish they could have spent more time. We had one more stop halfway between Topeka and Kansas City in Lawrence, Kansas, on the Kansas University campus. The university hosts the Kansas Natural History Museum, which has a pretty remarkable collection of taxidermy and fossils and minerals and gems.
Just your ordinary rocks. Just your ordinary pile of rocks and mastodon teeth. Okay, go. They're alive.
There were all kinds of specimens and some hands-on exhibits, which were very fun for the kids. I pictured that we would be here for maybe 30 minutes. They had to come and find us on the 3rd floor at closing time to tell us to get out of the building. All right, so the end of day 3, which was not exactly in Kansas City, but close enough that I'll count it, $32. So there is a branch of the Federal Reserve in Kansas City, and you can reserve tickets for their money museum. They've got President Truman's coin collection, which is pretty awesome. They have a solid gold brick that they dare you to try to lift. I like to think that I am a fairly smart person, but even after reading all of the signage, I'm still quite fuzzy on what exactly the Federal Reserve does. I would say that they had a nice little section that had some just money literacy teaching tools, and of course we got to see a lot of money. Definitely the most memorable part was a little bit farther down this hall where we were not permitted to film. Let me just say that I cannot believe the amount of money that was right in front of our eyes. Kansas City is home to the National World War I Museum, and since we had visited the World War II Museum in New Orleans on several occasions, we knew that we had to see this one. My overall review of this museum is that they do a fabulous job of taking you through the story of a war that was really just horrific and senseless. There were many areas of the museum where I was so moved to tears. And if I had not had the little kids with me that needed a lot of attention, I could have spent definitely an entire day walking through this museum and sitting in some of the quiet places that they have set up to just sit and reflect on what this war meant for so many millions of people. We squeezed in a quick visit to Harry S. Truman's house. Wish we could have spent another day exploring his presidential library as well, but time was out. A week in Kansas City, and we got to touch on economics, science, history, animal husbandry, agriculture, geopolitics, legal precedent, It doesn't have to cost a fortune to enjoy a buffet of local discoveries.